Hello, my lovely humans. I hope you're having a great day. Fun fact, if you didn't know this about me, every time I go do a live video, my lips get dry. I don't know what that's all about, but I always keep my lip balm really close by because I always know it's going to happen. So anyways, I hope you're having an absolutely incredible Tuesday. There's actually some really interesting things happening cosmically today. I'm not going to get into that so much, but it's absolutely worth going and looking up what's going on with the planets today. Some really interesting things going on that are really going to bring some clarity and plant some new seeds. So it's a really beautiful day for aha moments and realizations. So if you're getting those already, that's why. So anyway, I want to talk a little bit today about self-mastery and how this is the path to freedom. And when I say freedom, I mean in all areas of your life. The freedom to be happy in the moment, the freedom to be present and grounded, the freedom to be financially free, the freedom to do what you want, to break free of conditionality. That's what self-mastery is really about. And it's such an easy thing to talk about, but it's something that requires daily effort on our part. And that can be something that's very challenging for us to do, to commit to daily practices, to being consistent with ourselves and with our minds. We all know, we've all heard, we should exercise every day and meditate and gratitude. And we know these things. It's not that we don't know them. We know them. And when we do them, we feel really fucking good. When we don't do them, we ain't feeling so good. That's when we tend to have those bad days. And it's hard because we can sometimes feel like committing to these things can feel a little confining. And I think that's why a lot of us kind of rebel against them, because it can be really challenging. And I know that happens even for me. And I think it's something that's really important that we recognize it, and recognize, where is that feeling coming from? Where is the resistance coming up? And I know a really big thing for me that came up recently, last month, and it was very subconscious, is I didn't realize that I always felt like I was behind. I always felt like I was in a time crunch. I always felt like I didn't have enough time. I don't have enough time to get this done. And so I would totally stress myself out. And the hard thing and the funny thing at the same time with that is that when you don't feel like you have enough time, you can't focus very well, right? Because you're like, oh shit, I gotta get things done. We're all kind of wiry and And when we're doing that, because you can't focus, you can't complete what you want to get done as quickly and efficiently. So you're kind of setting yourself up for the cycle there. So it's something that I noticed about myself recently. And it's so important that we recognize that it's important to take the time. For example, to exercise every day, taking 30 minutes, maybe 60 minutes, if that's what you want to do, 30 to 60 minutes every day to get some fitness in the morning, to do that for your body, you're actually giving yourself more time. And I know that sounds crazy, but what happens when you don't take care of your physical health, if you don't get out there and move your body? Well, then in the afternoon, 2, 3 in the afternoon, what happens is our energy goes, and then we're like, oh my God, I'm so tired. And then guess what? The rest of the day is kind of fucked because you can't focus. You can't get things done. You're kind of half-assing it. And then what happens is we throw in the towel earlier than maybe we should. These types of things happen. So you exchange 30 to 60 minutes in the morning to recoup 4 to 5 hours in the afternoon. That's a big fucking deal. So these things are really important that we recognize that, it's not that you're just doing more things, adding more things to your plate. It's that you're being smarter about it. It's the same thing when we talk about earning money, right? It's not about going out there and working harder or longer or any of that. It's about value exchange. It's about leveraging your value in the marketplace, not about how hard you can work, not about how much time you can put in. So when we start to recognize these things and we start to do the things that we know we need to do on a daily basis, and we carve that out, then we can make massive strides. Now, I know this is difficult at different stages, right? I know it's really easy to look at me, for example, and be like, Amanda, you work full time from home. You're your own boss. You can set your own hours. Good for you. You can take 2 to 3 hours in the morning to do a morning routine. I get that. I totally get that, because I've been in a position before where, I'm working and I'm doing all the things and my shit's busy, and I get it. I do remember. I promise you I will always remember these things. And the thing is, it doesn't always have to be super long. Now, prior to me having a full-blown morning routine where I also incorporated other elements, the two things that I kind of did fairly frequently for years and years and years was exercise and reading in the morning. That was the two things that I always committed to no matter what. And I was so committed that, I mean, I remember one time I had a flight and we had to leave the house at 3 a.m. Well, I got up at 1:30 a.m. to make sure I got my workout in before we left. I mean, I was committed. Now, I'm not saying you have to go to that extreme. It's okay to miss one day, like once the habit's established. But these are the things I did. So when I got into working a more, standardized schedule, well, it's not fun, but sometimes I'd have to get up at 5 or 6 in the morning to exercise. And then what I would do is I would read on public transit. Now, let's say you drive yourself. Obviously, you cannot read and drive at the same time. Well, you can listen to an audiobook at the same time, right? Like there's times where we can actually multitask. And the same thing with the gratitude practice. You can be grateful in the morning. Like you can wake up and just be like, wow, I'm grateful for another day. You can get up and have your feet hit the floor. I'm grateful I have fucking feet. Not everybody has 2 feet. We can do these things as you're brushing your teeth. Like, man, I'm grateful for this toothpaste and the people who designed this toothbrush, or when you're in your shower and you've got hot water, like you can do these things at the same time. Like a lot of it's mental practice, and you can practice it while you're engaged in real life. And I think a lot of us get really caught up in that illusion of, the monk on the mountaintop, right? Where we're going to be like, just sitting, there's no interruptions, and we can, channel with the divine. And, it sounds pretty freaking awesome. But the truth is, life, Oprah calls it the life school, right? And everything that comes along in our lives, the people we meet, the circumstances we run into, all of it is here to help you grow, and you actually go faster when you're in the midst of all of it. And I know that can feel very chaotic, and it feel easier to just like, I'm going to push it off to when I have more time, which of course is an illusion. We never have more time. We're always fucking busy. So it's really about integration now and self-mastery now. And then when you hit your road bumps in your life, you don't need to be derailed for weeks or months or years, which can happen to a lot of us. When we practice self-mastery, when we really reflect on our own lives and the circumstances that come up, we can actually look at it with detachment, and we can see all of the moving parts, and we can go, what can I learn from this? What can I gather from this? What can I be grateful for about this? Instead of being like, man, my life sucks and shit hits the fan all the time and nothing ever works out, because it's really easy to go down that path. It's what most of us do. It's what most people do because they never take the time to do the self-reflection. And part of self-mastery is personal responsibility. That doesn't mean you carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, but it means you recognize that you are the creator of your life, and what you bring into it and all of those things, they're part of you, because this physical plane of existence is a reflection of you. It's all connected. I know it can be really easy to feel very disconnected sometimes, like we're, individuals, and that's part of the human experience is feeling individuality. But the truth is, we're all connected, everything, like the entire universe is just vibrating energy, giving us this illusion of the physical plane of existence. So it's important that we really deeply recognize that it is all relevant to what's going on internally. If you have a chaotic external existence, it's because you have a chaotic internal existence. And we can try all day long to put out the fires in our quote unquote real life. But the truth is, you have to put out the fires in your heart, in your soul, in your mind. That's where the chaos is coming from. So as soon as we learn to work through the internal process to heal, to understand what is the lesson here, what is the thing I need to learn, what's the perspective shift that I need, we regularly ask those questions on top of practicing the things that we need to do to feel energized and feel excited and to work on big goals and dreams and do all of those things. When we're having this combination of that self-reflection and looking at it, detaching from the situation and really having this holistic approach to how we handle life, then you can flip the switch and you can do things so much more easily and gracefully. It doesn't mean you still don't have moments where you're like, fuck this shit, because we all have those moments where we're like, this shit's pushing my buttons. We all have that. But the truth is, when we can acknowledge it, we can release that feeling so much faster, whether you're sad or angry or hateful or whatever's going on in you, you can process it so much faster so that you can come back to a state of being where you're present and grounded, where you're happy, where you're really in the moment, because the chaos in our lives it's all in here, right? Have you ever noticed that? Let's say you have an argument with your spouse and the argument takes 3 minutes. But for the rest of the day, you're pissed off and you're agitated and you're playing it back out through your mind and you're thinking of all the things you could have said or what you might say later or what they might say to you later. And it's all just happening in here. It is not happening in the real world. You're not experiencing any of this in the tangible way, but it's happening in here, so it feels real. So when we can learn to master what's going on in here, so we can flip the switch, so we don't have to get stuck in these cycles where our brain replays it and replays it and replays it like a broken record, then we can really move on and be in the moment. And that is powerful. And I wish this is something, I really wish that I learned these things decades ago, because I know I spent a lot of time, feeling uncomfortable or angry or sad or whatever it was that I was like caught up with at the moment, that I was chewing on again and again and again and again. It's like, the saying, just beating a dead horse, right? Doing that for so long, wasting so much time being unhappy and caught up in these cycles, when really we can process it relatively quickly. It doesn't mean we can just, we're still human. We still need to feel the feelings, but that we can move through them with so much more grace and ease, and in a very genuine way, not suppressing it, not pushing it back, but processing it and really being able to confront it instead of, going for our old tactics, whether that was avoidance or, whatever it was that you tried to do to move around it and kind of push that sucker back. It's really about addressing it and being present. And then we're like, oh, this is great. And then we can get back to our lives in a joyful way. We can get back to the pieces that we're really excited to be engaging in. And then we can create more of our magic and spread that with the world. So these things are really important for every aspect of life, so that we don't get caught up in the drudgery of any particular moment, so that we don't get stuck in a mental loop, so that we can really live our lives in a very holistic and beautiful way. So self-mastery is really the path to that, to unlocking everything that you've ever wanted in your life. I know you guys have been seeing that we have the Keys to the Universe coming up in May, which I'm very excited about. This is a 3-week program where I'm going to be doing a deep dive into all of these things. And, how do you master yourself? How do you live a life where you are tapped into abundance, where you recognize that you do create your reality, and how you do that, how to use the tools that are at your disposal to be able to shift your life from the inside out, so that you create all of those results that you've always been in your heart and always have been accessible to you, but that have been blocked by conditionality and by the way that we've been, trained in the real world to show up. So how do we, unshackle ourselves and really have that fullest expression of self? So I'm really excited to be diving into that. I'll put up the link for you after I pop off, so that you can have it. You can see if it's something that feels like it's aligned for you. And you can always pop into my inbox if you have any questions, because I'm always here to support you on your path and your journey. However you walk away from this, I really hope that this has sparked that little light within your soul for you to be like, you know what, I do really want to work on this journey of self, because I am tired of wasting my time chewing on things that make me upset and going over these things that are, not serving me and not helping me progress and live a life that is full of joy and peace and contentment and expression and, purpose. Because that's what we're really here for, is to be able to express our purpose. We're just here to express that soul-led purpose. So that's what it's all about. I love you guys. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoy this beautiful day and get out there and get some sunshine. Mwah. Have a good one. Bye.